Welcome back, guys. Angel of the Night here. We are back again with more Pokemon Scarlet and Violet Wi-Fi battles. And as you guys can see, we're getting into a viewer battle versus Westside91. Now, you guys might remember him as Westside Mike from my past streams and past videos. So huge shout out to Westside. Sorry, buddy. I didn't mean to have these videos buried. It just got lost underneath all my other content, so I apologize. Glad we're getting it up there now. So he's going to lead in here with his Crocodile as well as his Meowscarada, and of course I've got my Sneasler and my Murkrow. Now there is a bit of an issue here with this whole Crocodile being onto the field. He is a ground type Pokemon, and of course my Sneasler is a poison type Pokemon. If he ends up going for Earthquake, one thing's going to happen for sure. He's probably going to take out Sneasler, but of course he might also damage his Meowscarada if he doesn't have Protect. Luckily for me, Murkrow doesn't get affected because obviously it's a flying type Pokemon. But we are going to go in for the Terrestrialization to Dark, so that way we can possibly take a hit of an Earthquake if it does come our way. Now, mind you, if the Crocodile has close combat, that could pose to be a bit of an issue for us because 9 out of 10 times people are going to usually go for Terra Dark with their Sneaslers. Now, his Crocodile here ends up going in for a Terrestrialization as well, and he ends up going in for Poison. Now, I'm thinking to myself at this time, why is he going for Poison when I'm a Poison-type Pokemon? Either way, we're going to go for the Tailwind here with the Murkrow because obviously we have Prankster. I want to be able to boost up my speed. We actually end up going in for a Dire Claw. We wanted to be able to try to take out this Meowscarada just in case of the situation with whatever Pokemon I had with me at the time, right? So he's going to go in for a Protein attack. He's going to hit onto the Crocodile, and that, if I'm not mistaken, is actually going to boost his Anger Point. Now, at this moment in time on the stream, I'm like losing it. I'm like, what the actual heck just happened here? So first off, to put it in perspective, he ended up attacking his own Pokemon to activate his ability, which then boosts his chances of taking out my Sneasler. So that's what happened. Sneasler went down. Crocodile is still in. Pretty much at this point, all I have is a Tailwind up, and I've almost potentially taken out Meowscarada. Now, I am trying to debate here what my best option is. I'm pretty much going to go in with Silver. Now, Silver, of course, is my Cantonian Ninetales, and of course a nice shiny one at that. If you guys have seen this team before, you've probably seen it in one of the Grand Challenge videos that I uploaded. So here we go, we've activated the Sun, which is going to be able to boost up any kind of fire type moves. We are going to select into Heat Wave, of course, in order to do some damage. When it comes to Mercy, however, I do have the capability of going in and swapping out, or I can go in for an attack with Foul Play and potentially take out a Pokemon. Now, in this situation here, I did lock into Foul Play. Probably not my best choice, quite frankly. I could have maybe swapped out to another Pokemon, but then, of course, that might have also risked me getting hit by a move. So here we go with the Heat Wave. We're going to pick up the KO off onto Cassidy, the Meowscarada, and, of course, Crocodile lives to see another day. Good old Bobby Brown. So here it is. You can't get any damage. He's protecting. The sun is harsh, okay? The sunlight is active. It is going to be a problem for future Pokemon coming in. The next Pokemon that's going to come in, of course, makes me be corrected. Of course, this is a Paldean Firebred Tauros. Now, this is a fire fighting type Pokemon, so any kind of a Heat Wave is really not going to be effective onto it. However, I'm kind of weighing my pros and cons here. What is my best choice to go in with? Should I swap out? Should I bring another Pokemon in? Should I go with a different move? Pretty much, as you can see, I'm kind of trying to contemplate here on what my best option is. And realistically, there's really no good option here. Any kind of fire moves from Ronnie is going to be boosted, so you know, at this point, I'm pretty much like, let's take a good old Bobby Brown. Let's get this Pokemon out of here. So we ended up going for the Heat Wave. We hit the 2 Pokemon, and of course, our Mercy is going to be able to clean up with good old Bobby Brown. Bobby is gone. The Foul Play basically just annihilated it. So good news is we don't have to worry about Bobby Brown anymore, but the bad news is we got to worry about this Firebred Tauros going for these Rock Slides. So that could pose to be a bit of an issue there for us going forward. Now, of course, we do have the sun up, so of course we have the Heat Wave. That should be very beneficial for us. He then brings in his Heracross named Binya Binya. I don't know what that means. West? What is Binya Binya? Okay, but here we are. We can actually go in for another move. We can either go for the Weather Ball, which is going to be directly hitting onto the Heracross, or we could go to the Heat Wave, which does potentially pose to be a problem and miss one of the two or even both Pokemon. So we end up swapping out the Murkrow here. Murkrow goes back to the party, and we actually end up bringing in with our Indeedee. Now Indeedee, of course, when it comes into the field, it goes for the Psychic Surge as its ability, which basically sets up the Psychic Terrain. Now Heracross, of course, fearing the worst, ends up going for the Protect, which means that it's not going to get hit by any kind of damaging moves this turn. And of course, the Weather Ball fails. Can't make any kind of a contact. With the Tauros, of course, it ends up going in for the Rock Slide, being able to pick up the KO on Silver, one of my favorite Pokemon on this team, and I'm out for revenge. But Corey, revenge is not the Jedi way. Yeah, okay. Anyway, so we've got our Scrambled coming in here next. Now, Scrambled, of course, is our Executor, our Cantonian Executor. Now, it does have the Chlorophyll ability, which means that it's going to be able to boost up its speed in Sun. And, of course, with the the Psychic Terrain, that is going to allow us to go for like an Expanding Force type move and be able to take out two fighting Pokemon at once. So here we go. We're actually able to outspeed, just as I said. And both Pokemon are gone. So Binya Binya and Ronnie, goodbye. Get out of here. You are done, sirs. Two Pokemon remain onto Westside91's side. And honestly, guys, this Executor team is not a team to mess with. If you allow me to set up the Sun, you allow me to set up the Psychic Terrain, you're going to be in for a bad time. Let's just put it that way. Next Pokemon coming in is going to be Corviknight, which is known as Maze. And of course, there is also Malfoy, the Feraligatr. So, right now I can tell you, I'm already faster than these two opposing Pokemon, okay? There is a bit of an issue here. If I don't take out that Corviknight, it's very possible I may lose my Scrambled. Okay, now we could either go for the Leaf Storm here into Malfoy, or we could go for the Expanding Force and hit the two Pokemon. At this time, I'm pretty sure I chose to do an attack. We're going to go for the Follow Me. We're going to redirect all moves into the Indeedee itself. So all the moves are going to be directed directly into Indeedee. We actually end up going in for the Expanding Force, which is actually going to take advantage of the Psychic Terrain and be able to pick up the KO off on the Feraligatr. Now that does hurt me a little bit because Feraligatr is a pretty cool Pokemon, and honestly, it's one of my favorites out of the whole Johto starters. Had great experiences with Feraligatr back in the day. Unfortunately, the sunlight has now faded, and we are not going to be able to have our boosted speed. However, we do have the Psychic Terrain still. Maze is still over there looking pretty healthy, and could pose to be a problem here going into the future. But we're going to end up swapping out DD. We're going to go back into our Mercy. And of course, with Mercy, we have the capability of setting up a Tailwind, but we also happen to have the ability to set up the Sun, because we do have Prankster, we do have Sunny Day as well. So that's going to be able to help us out in the event that Ninetales, or Silver, is actually taken out. Unfortunately, Mercy actually does get a little bit of a hit there, a little bit of chip damage, but we're toughing it out. You know, Mercy's pretty cool. And Maze is just going to be like, yeah, man, I'm getting a little bit of leftovers here. So regaining a little bit of health there as they go. So we are going to go in and try to maybe set up some Sun. And then, of course, we still have the Psychic Terrain, so we can actually get our attack off onto him. So here we go with the Sunny Day. That's going to be able to boost up our speed here once again. And of course, we're going to get the boost with the Expanding Force because of the Psychic Terrain. Takes him right down into the red zone. And at this point in time, he's like, GG, man, like, there's nothing I can do. I'm like, nah, man, let's see how far this will go. Let's see what we can do here. Because realistically, I just have supportive Pokemon left, to be quite honest with you. I have, like, one Dragon type, but, I mean, he gets pretty much walled by Corviknight. So I'm like, let's just keep going. You never know exactly where this is going to go, right? So, okay, the Expanding Force is basically selected here. We're going to actually swap back out from the Murkrow to the Indeedee and set up that whole Psychic Terrain again so we can get that boost with the Psychic Terrain. So that's where we're currently at into the battle. And as you can see, Deedee's coming back out, little sparkle there. And of course, we've got the Sun, we've got the Terrain. Now we can go for the Expanding Force. And will this be enough to be able to take out that Corviknight? Absolutely not. It's still hanging in there in the red zone. And everyone in the chat's like, yeah, this is a good battle. But yeah, it's going on for a little longer there. There's a little bit of a stall game going on. Just not because of Westside, honestly. It's because of me. I wanted to see if I could take this thing out. It was a good test, a nice little challenge, and it's something that I definitely wanted to give a go. So here we are. We're all locked into our moves. We could technically go for an expanding force. We could go for a Leaf Storm. Obviously, Leaf Storm isn't going to do very much to a flying steel type Pokemon, but you know, those are the options. You know, we have a couple of different options we can choose from here, but I'm pretty sure we're going to go for that whole expanding force. So here we go. There is the play. That is going to make contact with the Corviknight, still into the red zone. And of course, we are losing a little bit of HP here as we go, but I'm going to go for the Psychic, and we get that chip damage off on a Maze, and that is going to be game. So good game there, Westside. Thank you very much for the battle, bud, and I'll catch you guys next time.